everyone, welcome to Cricket Next. Well, IPL vibe is on. As on December 23, IPL 2023 auctions will take place. Well, auctions are always exciting, but before that, in November, we saw Retention Day, where teams came up with certain names they had retained for IPL 2023 and certain names that they released as well. Well, it's quite interesting to know how teams will be formed this year, but what's more interesting is to understand what these teams' approach is for the coming IPL. And in today's video, we will talk about a team which has won this IPL title two times. Well, I believe that most of you might have guessed or might be guessing which is this team, but it's none other than Kolkata Knight Riders. And to talk about this team in detail, I have with me Saikat Ghosh. Hello, Saikat.
Yes, Ramya, thanks for having me.
Well, Saikat, auctions are always interesting and exciting. As I mentioned, last year it was the mega auction, but this time also it's going to be really interesting because we already saw, how these teams have geared up. But quickly, let's have a look at KKR's journey, and especially when we talk about how they played in IPL 2022. What do you have to say? Do you think they ended up on number seventh last year? Do you think that, something went wrong with this team?
We talk about winning so many big tournaments like World Cup and whatnot, but people forget that IPL is an very difficult tournament to win just because the sheer number of matches that a team plays. Let me tell you that every team plays around 14 matches. Now, to maintain that momentum throughout for 2 months in 14 matches is very difficult. And that is exactly what happened to KKR. Shreyas Iyer's KKR actually went on to win the first two matches, maybe the first two matches, and then they started to lose and they went on to lose 5 games straight before they, again started to win. But by this time, the business end of the tournament was done with, and there was very little Shreyas Iyer could do about it. So it was a very frustrating journey for KKR, a bit of a roller coaster ride, winning a few matches and losing a lot of it, and then winning again. So yeah, that was that kind of a journey for KKR.
Absolutely. And it'll be quite interesting to see how this team builds up in the IPL 2023 because we have some really big names in terms of the players who were released. So now if I see this, graphic, so there are three names that, come to my eyes very quickly. One is Pat Cummins, Sam Billings, and Alex Hale. So they are not going to play in this IPL because they said that there are some personal reasons. Now, Saigat, how do you see all these names placed here in terms of did KKR make the right choice by releasing them, or how do you see these dynamics?
Uh, you mentioned three names, I think huge, big names. Because Pat Cummins, let's not forget that Australia's Test captain is also a very good T20 bowler when it comes to bowling in the death. Sam Billings, recently I haven't heard his name that much, but Alex Hales, turned out to be what a player for England in T20 World Cup. So I believe KKR made a mistake there by releasing Alex Hales. But let's not forget that Alex Hales was not playing in IPL on a regular period for a regular time. So the owners were not convinced that whether we should stick to this guy because he doesn't have that proven record in playing in the IPL. So Alex Hales is someone whom I think KKR have earned by releasing. But let's not forget that Alex Hales has clearly said that he's not going to come this year. So I think, yeah, there's nothing to lose for KKR.
So, Saka, do you see any other player in this list of released players who might impact? They might get picked up by the others team, and they might impact KKR's stance in the IPL 2023.
I'm really not sure why they released Sheldon Jackson, because Sheldon Jackson, if you see, definitely not a bad batter and also a wicket keeper. Also, let's not forget that we have only 4 slots of Indians in IPL teams. And let's not forget Sheldon Jackson is an Indian. So if Sheldon Jackson played, then they had this room to play an extra foreigner. So now they have released him. I'm really not sure why they did it. Apart from him, there are a couple of names here. uh, I don't think they will make much of a difference there in the auction. Yes, Alex Hales would have made a difference, but since he is not there, Mohammad Nabi is a good buy, but again, the age is not on his side. So I don't think people are gonna go after him. Aaron Finch is a dicey choice, but Aaron Finch is very inconsistent when it comes to T20 or winning new matches. Ajinkya Rahane, senior cricketer, but I don't think he has that kind of firepower or the
Yeah.
branding, so that any owner will say, okay, give me this guy in T20 matches. Ajinkya Rahane's prime is also clearly past.
Yeah, absolutely. So now KKR have 7.5 crores in their purse. How do you think Saikat will they use it in this coming auction?
Well, before I answer your question, let me answer that. Let me tell you that 7.5 crore is the least purse among any teams. KKR has the least purse. You look at LSG or you look at Chennai or DC, they have got 40 crores, but
Exactly.
KKR has just 7 crores. So it's going to be an uphill battle for KKR to win the auctions. They will have to target player with cheap prices. With 7.5 crores and with 11 players, let's not forget. Let's say just compare them to LSG. LSG has 14 players already in their kitty, and they're looking for extras. On the other hand, KKR have only 11 players, and they now have to build a complete team. But what the initial sense that I get is that these 11 players are going to be forming the core of the playing 11. So I think if KKR goes, they can't go on a buying spree just because, as I said, the money is not much there in their purse.
Absolutely, and we'll have to, have a look at the players who were retained by KKR as well, and also the ones who were traded in the on the retention day, as we saw, because that will also make up an effort. Also, will make us understand it. What's KKR trying to do in the coming auction, because as you mentioned, it's the least purse, so there might be something that they would be looking at. What do you think? How they are thinking right now in terms of the players they already have here?
I'll start with Alex Hales. Now, since Alex Hales was an opener, he was released. Now, here we go. We have got a replacement in Rahmanullah Gurbaz, who has been
Hmm.
traded in from Gujarat Titans. He can be a good backup opener. In Shardul Thakur, they have got a great all rounder who can also bat. Lockie Ferguson could be the answer to most of their T20 death bowling, because we
Yeah.
all know Lockie Ferguson can be a great fast bowler in T20 cricket. So these are great additions in when it comes to trading players. Now, if I could talk about the players retained, you can see Shreyas Iyer, Nitish Rana, Venkatesh Iyer is an opener, gonna open Andre Russell. I think they need a backup for Andre Russell, because Andre Russell's fitness has been an issue in recent times. So I think KKR need a backup for Andre Russell. I don't know who they're gonna after, because the budget is not much there. Umesh Yadav has been retained, but Umesh Yadav, let's not forget, is around 32, 33 years old. So they're when you get past a certain age in T20 cricket, your fitness becomes an issue. Tim Saudi is also 30 plus. So these guys are pretty senior, and these are senior fast bowlers. You never really know with their fitness issues. So there could be that concern there. But Shreyas Iyer, Nitish Rana, Venkatesh Iyer, the core remains the same. Young people who are going to stay in KKR for at least, let's say, 3 4 years.
Absolutely. But there are players, that makes me really, interesting in this team and actually increases my interest in this team. That's Rinku Singh over there. He has shown what potential he has got. And Varun Chakravarti, he was really very well talked about in the last season. And, everybody was talking that he has the potential to bowl and he can be a great bowler. And now Lockie Ferguson is also here in this team. It seems like, Lockie Ferguson had that mini vacation with Gujarat Titans because he was with KKR first and then went for 1 year there and came back. Now, with such kind of bowling combinations, do you think that their bowling strength is strong, so they'll be eyeing more on the batter's side?
Surely, surely. I think Umesh Yadav, Tim Saudi, and you have got Lockie Ferguson. I think their bowling looks fine to me. As I said, they are a bit senior, so their fitness could be an issue, but their bowling looks completely settled. Yes, their batting could be an issue. I think the biggest thing they'll be looking for is a backup Indian wicket keeper. That's the first thing they would be looking for. They'll also be looking for someone who could replace, Andre Russell. As I said, Andre Russell's fitness remains an issue. So these two things they would look to see. Also in middle order, if they could get one Indian name, then that could also be a good bargain buy for them. And we have got a guy called Samarth Vyas, who played so brilliantly in Vijay Hazare Trophy and Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. I'm very sure he must be listed at a base price of 20 lakh rupees. So it could be a good budget buy for KKR.
Absolutely. So let's have a look, what KKR will be eyeing in this auction. So what do you think, Saikat, KKR will be looking forward to pick? Which player do you think KKR would want in their team in the coming auction?
Definitely, as our graphics show here, Alex Sales and Josh Philippe. Josh Philippe can be a good option because he's listed at 75 lakh rupees. And as I
Mm.
said, KKR's budget is not that great, so they would go for Josh Philippe. They would also like to, have a middle order batter in Samarth Vyas. Why not have a wicketkeeper batter in KS Bharat as well? Because KS Bharat could be a good replacement for Sheldon Jackson. He's a wicketkeeper batter. He's an Indian, so saves you a lot of room for a foreigner. And let me tell our viewers that KS Bharat is listed at 20 lakh rupees. So he's a good buy. Josh Philippe 75 lakh could also be. And I would like one name here, that would be Daryl Mitchell. As I was
Yeah.
highlighting a lot that we need someone who could be a backup for Andre Russell. So Daryl Mitchell could be that guy. Unlike other all-rounders like Ben Stokes, this guy is not in that high bracket of 2 crore rupees. And since KKR has just 7 crore in their kitty, Daryl Mitchell can be a very good option for them.
Absolutely, Saika. That becomes really very difficult also when you are up with a very small amount. Because if we see in terms of auctions that we have already seen in the last seasons, and especially talking about this season, you rightly mentioned how other teams have money in the purse, and here KKR has just around 7 crores. So I think, as you mentioned, it'll be a very, very strategic decision, plus very planning plotted decision. It'll require a lot of planning which player to pick or not. But do you think that what kind of chances KKR has? What do you think they will be eyeing at? Do you think they will be eyeing at some big player also with such kind of money?
They would definitely like to have it, but as I said, money is everything in IPL auctions. And the
Mm.
money, I just saw this purse of KKR that is 7 crores, and other teams are like 20, 30, 40 crores. So there is no match. If they go for a big player, I'm very sure teams like DC will outbid them. And not only it will outbid them, when you go after one player, your 7 crores, you have to, there is a IPL rule that
Mm.
you need to spend at least 75% of it. So with
Yeah.
7 crores, with I mean, players like Ben Stokes, their base price is 2 crore rupees. I'm very
Yeah.
sure people will go after him. So KKR, to be very frank, KKR cannot buy big players right now. They have to go for players in 75 lakh bracket and maybe 1.5 at max, but they cannot afford players with who are in the 2 crore bracket currently.
Absolutely. Let's see how KKR plans this out, because they have very less amount in their purse for this IPL auction. Thank you so much, Saikat, for joining with me for this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
So we were in conversation with Saikat, wherein Saikat explained, that how it'll be very difficult for KKR to look out for players because they have very less amount as compared to the other teams for this IPL 2023 auction. But what will happen? Will KKR get a big name in their squad or not? Only time will tell. Till then, stay tuned with our Cricket Next YouTube channel, or you can also stay tuned with us on our various social media handles. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.